literature review can get messy very quickly. You search one paper, then another, and suddenly you have 20 tabs open, 5 PDFs downloaded, and still no clear direction. In this video, I'll show you how to use CitedEvidence articles and journal search to search papers, read a research synthesis, check references, understand research connections, and start building your literature review in a more organized way. Now let's begin. First, I'm going to open Google. In the search bar, I'll type CitedEvidence. Now I'll click the official CitedEvidence website. Once the website opens, I'll create an account or log in if I already have one. For this tutorial, I'm already logged in, so now I'm on the main dashboard. On the left side, you can see the navigation menu. Here, I'll look for articles and journal search. This section is useful when you want to search for academic papers across scholarly sources. Instead of manually opening different websites, searching random papers, saving tabs, losing tabs, and then pretending everything is organized, you can start your paper search from here. Now look at the top of the page. You can see different search options, such as Standard Search, Deep Analysis, All Journals, and My Library. For this first example, I'll stay on Standard Search. Standard Search is good when you want to quickly find relevant research papers on a topic. Now I'll go to the search bar. For this example, I'll type chronic lower back pain. Now I'll click Search. At this point, CitedEvidence starts searching for relevant research papers related to chronic lower back pain. Once the results appear, the first thing I can see is the Research Synthesis section. This is very useful because the tool does not only give me a list of papers, it also summarizes what the retrieved literature is saying about the topic. So instead of reading 10 papers one by one at the starting stage, I can first understand the overall direction of the research. Now I'll read through the synthesis. For this topic, the synthesis may discuss chronic lower back pain, related symptoms, posture, mobility, obesity, depression, pain intensity, daily functioning, and other associated factors. This gives me a quick academic overview of the topic. Now look closely inside the paragraph. You can see citations included in the synthesis. These citations show which papers are being used to support the summary. This is helpful because in academic writing, we do not just need information. We need information that is connected to sources. Now I'll scroll a little further down. Here, I can see the reference list. Now, this section shows the papers that were used in the synthesis. So if I find a useful point in the summary, I can check the reference list and see which study supports that point. This is helpful when I am building a literature review, proposal background, thesis chapter, or research introduction. Now I'll continue scrolling. Next, we can see the Research Connections section. This part is really useful because it visually shows how different papers and research areas connect to the main topic. In the center, I can see the main topic, chronic lower back pain. Around it, I can see related studies, connected themes, and research areas. This helps me understand the research landscape. So instead of reading papers randomly, I can visually see which studies are connected and what subtopics are appearing around chronic lower back pain. Now I'll scroll further down to the papers table. Here, CitedEvidence shows the retrieved papers in a table format. This table is useful because it helps me screen papers quickly. Now let's look at the columns one by one. First, I can see the paper title. This tells me what each study is about. Next, I can see the year. This helps me check whether the paper is recent or older. Then I can see the citation count. This gives me an idea of how often the paper has been cited by other researchers. Then there is the DOI. The DOI is useful because it gives the paper a unique academic identifier. Now look at the options beside the paper. You may see buttons like PDF, PDF Summary, Podcast, and Chat. If the PDF is available, I can open or download it. If I click PDF Summary, I can quickly understand the paper without reading the full document immediately. If I use Podcast, it can help turn the paper into an audio-style explanation. And if I click Chat, I can ask questions about that specific paper. This is useful when I want to understand a paper more deeply without getting lost in academic language. Now let's look at the summary columns. You can see sections like TLDR, Abstract Summary, and Results. The TLDR gives a very quick version of the paper. The Abstract Summary explains the main idea of the abstract in a simpler way. The Results column helps me quickly see what the study found. This makes paper screening much faster. Because honestly, opening every full paper immediately is how your browser becomes a crime scene. Now, if I want more details, I can add more columns. For example, I can add columns like Methods Used, Literature Survey, Limitations, or Summarized Introduction. This is useful when I am preparing a literature review matrix. For example, if I am writing a thesis or proposal, I may want to compare different papers based on their methods, findings, limitations, and research gaps. So instead of manually extracting everything from scratch, I can use these columns to screen and organize the papers faster. Now let's say I find a paper that looks useful. I can save it to my notebook or library. This helps me collect useful papers in one place instead of losing them across random tabs. If the PDF is available, I can also download it and read the full paper later. That's how you can use cited evidence articles and journal search to start building a literature review faster.